When I saw this comment, I was expecting a short project, nothing too special. A game that expands on the Danganronpa format and brings a new take to a beloved series. What I wasn't expecting was an entirely original, captivating, and emotionally manipulative experience that would leave a significant impact on me. This nigga's a genius!
This guy's a manipulator.
Go to hell! Hey!
Wow.
There ain't no way. That's so fucking dumb! Oh my god! Nigga, you see how fast that was? I didn't have to do anything! My heart is pounding still. That was actually like a real...
Dave.
See, Danganronpa could never. Welcome back, ladies and niggas, to another video of me taking visual novels way too seriously. See, in Your Turn to Die, your choices matter. So I'll be talking about stuff that happened in my playthrough, and characters that died in mine may not have even died in others. And I don't know to what extent the customization of the characters goes. So something could be a spoiler, and I don't even know. I wasn't super specific with the spoilers, so hopefully that's not a problem and it doesn't impede your experience even after watching this video. I don't think I really spoiled anything too meaningful. If you're super sensitive to spoilers, then just be warned. Now, I don't know much about RPG Maker games or anything. I know that it exists, but I never really cared to learn anything about it, and I still don't really for the most part. But according to my friend who's played a lot of RPG Maker games, the games are usually not up to this quality. I'm gonna run you through the plot real quick. This game has an amazing intro, actually. After showing us like a short night interaction between two of the main characters, Sarah and Joe, we see them quickly get wrapped up in a dangerous scenario where they return to Sarah's home, and after overcoming an initial trial, it is revealed in the chaos that they were transferred to a facility to participate in a death game. Now, just like in Danganronpa, there are like something that resembles a class trial, but in Your Turn to Die, they're called discussions. And then like, even though they're kind of like similar in nature, like the whole process of them couldn't be more different, honestly. In Danganronpa, everything's a lot more convoluted, and you have to play these goofy ass mini games to reveal major talking points. It's so fucking dumb. Like the hangman mini game, that shit is so stupid. The surfing shit where you, like in Danganronpa 2, where you have to play run eventually just to get your thoughts together. Like that shit's so stupid and it's unnecessary. And Your Turn to Die, everything's a lot more direct. There are no mini games during discussion. The mini games take place outside of the main discussion. And these mini games also have tangible repercussions on what happens in the game, because you could play a mini game and if you get a character killed in the mini game, then that's it. Like they're just gone. The mini games are also way better. Like I showed a little bit of the Russian roulette mini game from the beginning of the game. That was a crazy mini game. And I don't even know if you're supposed to have characters die or if you can, but that shit had my heart pounding because I was like, damn, ain't no way I'm about to have a character die this area of the game. That shit was clean. And the discussions that we have in Your Turn to Die, there's less focus on the evidence like there is on when you do the investigations in Danganronpa. There's more focus on the inconsistencies in each character's account and how they perceive an event. Because there's no investigation. Everything's happening like sporadically and spontaneously. They're not prepared for a lot of the things that they're going through, which is honestly more realistic, because I doubt in a death game situation, they're gonna allow them to investigate the murder. I imagine it'd be more spontaneous, like shit's just popping up left and right. Now, I was praising the minigames earlier because I do believe that like the application of the minigames is better and that some of the minigame scenarios are a lot better, but the explanation for these mini games is absolutely dog shit. Oh my fucking god. Well, the good mini games were really good, but the bad ones were like, they hoed me time and time again, especially on this wire shit right here. Look at this. There's no way they did this to me, but this shitty explanation. And then when I figure it out, it's already too late. I got so many characters killed in various mini games because of bullshit that they pulled. And like, I know their resources are limited. They're not like a multi-billion-dollar company, but they could have done a better job with the explanation for the mini game. Honestly, it might not have been their fault. It could have been it could have been some shitty English translator, because this is a Japanese game. I'm pretty sure it was fan translated. So if it was the translator's fault, fuck them niggas, because they fucked up my gameplay and they But now here comes the important part, the characters. A visual novel is nothing if it doesn't have good characters. No matter how good the plot is, if the characters are ass, I'm not fucking with the game. And boy, this game has some of the best characters I've ever seen from Japanese media. Well, let me not go that far. I'm just a little hype about it. There isn't a single character that I disliked in this game. Every character was written so well, and there are a lot of scenes that left me speechless and emotional, honestly. Well, actually, no. There is one character that I dislike. I don't even know if I really dislike him. The nigga Joe.
This looks like a female character.
That nigga does not look like a woman.
This character, yeah, it does.
No, he does not. Look at him.
Like, he's a snake. He's a snake. Like, he never actually betrayed, but it's the little things that matter. I tried to go on an investigation with him, and then he left me to investigate with someone else. He's supposed to be my best friend. He's supposed to investigate with me.
Damn, what? Joe's snaked out. What the fuck?
Joe's a fucking snake.
And he goes up with a stranger. What kind of shit is that? And then when I try to get back at him, and I'm like, nah, fuck him. The game forces him onto me. They force me to investigate with him, bruh. And then he's also a pretty boy character, and I don't really like pretty boy characters like that. And he just acts like a superficial kind of way. Nothing he does really feels genuine. I do feel bad for him in a sense because he had just got a girlfriend before all this happened, and he gets caught up in this scenario. But in a game full of great characters, he's undeniably the worst.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it.
Given the current climate of our society, I don't think I need to explain why me and the homie both came to the same conclusion that this was best girl. The Reko that we know is kind, caring, and always aware of others' feelings. She stands up to the strong, being overly aggressive to them while showing unyielding compassion to the weak. She acts as a sort of glue that mediates between the less mentally stable children like Kana, Jin, and Nao, and the strong Sigma males like Kyutaro. And what makes her kindness feel so genuine is what later when we found out that it's a result of like a tragedy that happened in her life, because apparently she used to be aggressive to everybody. Like she was just kind of like the bitchy don't give a fuck goth emo chick that everybody knows. But then after witnessing someone she loved do something terrible, it really brought into perspective her own actions, and she ended up changing the way that she acted as a result of it, which I think is really good because they didn't even have to add that part in. They could have just left her as is, and I probably would have still liked her anyway, but the fact that they would even go that far just makes the character that much better. And when she died, it was absolutely tragic.
Relive as much as you can. You got this bitch killed, Chiquan. Oh my god, nigga. Oh.
I'll hold that L. I did get the hottest character killed, but at least I didn't get my nigga Jin killed. Jin is easily top 3 characters in this game. His ability to have unyielding positivity in a situation like this is just insane. Even while all the others are fucking depressed, head down, they're hopeless, he still finds a way to be happy. Like, he's just built different. What other 12-year-old you know who could watch a bunch of people die around him and still hold steadfast, still hold mentally like sane? But he ends up like developing a mental fortitude that's honestly stronger than any of the other adults in the game. He went from a weak child to someone who was willing to put his life on the line. He stepped up to the plate at 12 years old. Nobody is doing it like him at 12 years old. And even better, Jin's probably the most accurate depiction of a 12-year-old I've seen from anime-like content yet. And it's because of this realism that makes me love him anymore. Instead of just being that guy, he feels like a normal 12-year-old that is also that guy. Jin is a real one. I love this nigga, and I would have been so hurt if he died. Mishima was a character that I liked more and more as the story went on. Like, he was the first one of the main characters to die, and he still managed to leave a longer lasting impression on me than even Alice, who survived for a majority of the game. He's a high school teacher, and I thought he was just pretending to be a paragon of kindness, but he really is. He has his flaws like everyone else. Like when he stole my cigar and lighter and pretended it was for my own health, but he just wanted to smoke it for himself. And then he wouldn't even, I couldn't even get a new cigar. He just took my shit, didn't even get a chance. I didn't even get a chance to do the wrong thing.
And I gave him the cigar. So how did he know it's a cigar but not the gun? That's making no sense to me.
When all was said and done though, he didn't even hesitate to sacrifice himself for his student. And when he was suspected there was even a chance that someone would die, he gave himself up so that everyone could have a chance to live. Selfish just like everybody else, but selfless when it really matters. And that really fucked me up. That nigga got a heart of gold. And now Mishima student lacked the resolve to act on her lofty ideals. She was just like any other person. Like, everybody would like to believe that when it matters, they could be selfless and give themselves up for the greater good. But the reality isn't that sweet. Like, she cares for others, and she obviously hates when people die, because who would want to see people die around you? However, when her life life was in danger, she didn't hesitate to throw under the bus. But I can't even blame her because I would have did the same thing. In these games, they're all like, oh no, but we're friends now. But the reality of the situation is that I met y'all niggas like 2-3 days ago. I'm sorry, but I'm prioritizing my own well-being over yours. And man, she just couldn't catch a break, right? She gets thrown into this situation. Already she's kind of like shooken up a little bit. Her teacher, who she looked up to, died right before her eyes. She is mentally gone. And then as she's collecting herself later, stabilizing her mental state, she gets done dirty. She claws, scratches, nails, fights for her survival. And then she just gets done dirty. She literally got cheated. She got cheated. She did everything she could, followed the rules and everything to survive, and then the niggas hoed her. She did not deserve to go out like that. And honestly, that was one of the biggest injustices of the game. The last of the child trio, Kana. Kana was just a little girl who not only had to watch others she was getting close to die around her, she even watched her sister die right before her eyes when she was powerless to do anything. So she's pretty much just like now in this scenario, but she's even younger. So imagine the mental strain that she's going through. And while she was mopey throughout the entire game up until close to the end of her involvement, and while she's not the most useful character on the technical side of things, she was useful emotionally. She found the good within even the shadiest of characters, stabilizing relationships in the group, being the glue that stopped them from imploding. But honestly, so she was useful in a technical sense. Stabilizing the group emotionally and like making sure everyone's cooperating is a damn important job, and she did a really good job at it. She wasn't useless at all. When Alice was introduced, I was so indifferent to him. I'd even play mini games keeping in mind that I would just kill him off if I was backed into a corner. He's just so obnoxious. Like the way he refuses to cooperate and talks as if he's better than everyone, despite being a dumbass. But as I learned more about him, I began to respect his tough attitude. He didn't really change at all. My perception of him changed. I still fucking hate his design though. That shit. He's got to have the worst design of all the characters. It's not even a competition. Keiji is more or less the companion character in this game. He volunteers you as the leader from the very beginning and is weirdly trusting of you off rip. He's very keen and he never overlooks the most minute details. So I mean, he's definitely trustworthy. He even goes out of his way to display his trustworthiness and his ability to trust others. He doesn't take for granted the value of trust in a death game. Even though he has his own trauma, he deals with it on his own and never lets it get in the way. The strongest mentally out of all the participants and one of the smartest, if not the smartest. Cool, calm, and collected, Keiji is my nigga. So is literally just Nagito from Danganronpa 2. So is all about calculation and controlling the situation in a similar way to Nagito, even with similar methods. Manipulating others and using only logic, ignoring any of the emotional aspects of a situation. What separates So from Nagito, though, is that So isn't crazy as fuck. Nagito is just unhinged mentally, and that nigga is fucking insane. But So isn't really insane. He's just kind of a dick. Even when So was deceiving everyone, I couldn't help but respect him. It never felt like he was really doing anything really wrong. In hindsight, he was just looking out for himself. He was doing his best to survive just like everyone else. He was the most successful in attaining any information regarding the death game and the captives that are holding him hostage. He was the most useful character in the game. So honestly, So is that nigga. And I support him even if he's regarded as a villain. Sarah is a go-to protagonist, quick to trust, but not foolish enough to let anyone take advantage of her kindness. She's a natural leader and questions other people a lot, questions herself for questioning others. She wants to believe in the kindness of everybody, but she's not dumb enough to just let it slide. I also like how I can connect better with Sarah as a protagonist because I have influence over her decisions and who she turns out to be in the story. So it allows me to connect with her on a more emotional level than you can with a protagonist that has a personality completely separate from your own. Great. I have no qualms. The last character I'm gonna go in depth on is Kyutaro because of the impact that his character had on me. Kyutaro is a baseball player who had his dreams crushed by an injury. He's bitter because this takes it out on everyone else. He's uncooperative and standoffish, valuing strength above everything else. I mean, at one point, he even suggested sacrificing the children to increase their survival chances. And that's just, that's some real Sigma grind set. Fuck the children. Then during one of the major game events, he's given an option to do just what he wanted. Sacrifice one of the useless children or sacrifice himself. And as he's sitting there watching them suffer, he had this internal battle with himself. Like, can I really just sit there and do nothing while a child is going through excruciating pain? And he decides to put his life on the line to save him, which is his big turning point in the game. From here on out, he builds a bond and kind of takes the spot as an advocate for the weaker that, at least in my playthrough, was lost when Reko died. And when the group was out of options and had nowhere to turn, Kyutaro had already put a plan in motion to save them all, making a way out of an impossible situation. And what fucked me up about Kyutaro's sacrifice was it didn't even really feel like a sacrifice. It was so triumphant, so powerful. It had me in awe. I was just sitting there, just like contemplating after his death, just awestruck. Like, whoever's doing the character writing is doing a great fucking job, because I'm over here talking about characters from this 4x3 RPG maker-ass game like they're real human beings. And there are some characters that I didn't really talk about. I'll mention them now. I left out Ranmaru, the crazy nigga, Hinako, the token aggressive little girl. There was Naomichi, tough guy. Mai, the obligatory girl with big titties, the glasses nigga, and Anzu, who was on screen for 30 seconds. Ranger and Safaline were really good characters, especially Safaline. She's the GOAT. And then Gashu. Oh, this nigga. Gashu, he's just a good character off shock value alone. I still can't believe it. There's just so much to this game. I could make this video twice as long if I really wanted to, but I'ma end it here. I highly recommend you play it if you haven't already. This game was an experience for sure, and it's not even finished. They're still working on the final chapter of the game. We just have like the first half of the final chapter. I thought it was finished. I'm kind of pissed because now I'm sitting here waiting, and I need this game. I need this game to finish soon. I have to know what happens. All right, that's enough for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video so more can see it, and as usual, y'all have a good one.
Someone disconnects, right?